Do you feel the buzz?
GNT back at it one more time, episode 91. We do have a nice amount of stuff to talk about, but something just dropped about a couple minutes ago. We're going to dive more into that one first. Real important. Let's get it. Yeah. GNT back at it. Hey, I'm not on here by myself tonight. Thank goodness. I don't know how many of y'all be watching if it was just me. Appreciate y'all that would tune in. But I also got my man here, Bird Gang in the building.
Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? Hump day and the tush push must continue. Let's get it.
Tush push still around. I tell you, got one more year of the tush being around. I tell you. Okay, so
dodged it this year. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to probably be going next year, but at least we got this year to hold on to that play for at least for a little bit. But hey, look, for the ones that need to know or want to know, Tone is running a little late. He will jump right on the show as soon as he becomes available, and we'll just go ahead and continue on as soon as he shows up. But until then, me and Joel will hold down the fort until he shows up. But for right now, we do got a little bit of breaking news. Sad news, and maybe that's the wrong one. Just hide my face. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just take it off. All right, look, breaking news. Joel just went ahead and just told me this when I didn't know. Joel, go ahead and break the news.
Yeah, the Colts owner, Jim Irsay, dies at 65. Reports came out that he passed away in his sleep. So it was a, unexpected thing. They really didn't say much. They just highlighted, the career that he had and stuff like that, how he took over ownership when his dad passed away. But, sad news in the football world. Don't ever want to see someone pass away. I know there was a lot of things circling around him specifically with certain players and certain things going on and stuff like that. But I mean, you don't want to see someone pass away. But Irsay's gone at 65, man. So shout out to him and his family.
Yo, that's young age too, man. 65 is not old. Okay,
nah.
Especially the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing that 65 ain't old.
Yeah, you're like 70's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, not bad at all.
Right.
But it's bad as this camera right now, acting funny. All right. Yeah, 70 ain't bad at all. But 65 is a young age. And I mean, heck, when we started the show, we started off talking about the tush push still being around. So you would think that him being the owner, he would have been in Indianapolis to go ahead and be part of that decision of vote, the vote in or out, the tush push and wherever else that they had to go ahead and deal with. But they said that he died peacefully in his sleep. So
this afternoon. So it was like, that's the first thing I said. I'm like, wait, did he die in Minneapolis where they were doing this vote at? And then that's when I started looking. And I'm like, no, it says he passed away in his sleep and this afternoon. So I don't know if he ever just never made it. It said peacefully at his home. So, I mean, it's not too far from Minneapolis, I guess. He probably could have got up and got over there. I know these guys got private jets and all that stuff, but I don't know if it sounds like it was unexpected. So I don't know what happened. But or who voted for the Colts at that point. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm not sure, man.
They're probably trying to keep that like under wraps, like real heavy. Oh,
right. Or if they had knowledge of it and they just didn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they didn't want to bring out let the news out because it says this afternoon. It just dropped about 23, 25 minutes ago. So they probably was doing some investigation and stuff like that. So they probably had knowledge of it, and like you said, they kept it on the wraps,
Yeah.
from until the family found out and stuff like that.
But yeah, Spider Kev, what's up, bro?
Yeah,
What's going on? Thanks for showing up as always, man. No, but with as soon as I heard that, about Ursay, it really did make me think like, whoa, was he there for the voting? And if he was not there for the voting, that definitely kept that under wraps because it said he died peacefully in his bed. That's because now, to me, that sounds like he was probably not doing well for a little bit, and they had him in his house, just you know, just ready for him to go. So, just to make you wonder, I mean, there's some things we're just not gonna have answers for, or answers to. I think this is going to be one of them. To see exactly what happens later on, I don't know, but it's always sad to to see anyone go ahead and just pass away just suddenly like that. And yeah, the Ursay family, God bless y'all. Keep your head up. I'm sure it's a major loss in your family, and I'm sure y'all guys will be okay. Just take it one day at a time. That's all we can do. Oh, okay. Drunk Monk. We got Drunk Monk on IG. What's going on?
what up?
Hookah Global. I think I'm gonna say that right. Hello to you. Y'all know I'm terrible with names, but what's going on? I am Carrie is on
He's
there.
on there too. I mean, Dimples.
uh, whatever. And you know who else is actually on here too? Tone the
Yeah.
promoter.
Yo, what's going
What's
on, y'all? What's
going
going on,
on? You
GNT
got the
Sports
hoodie
World?
memo. Oh,
You
we
know what I'm
ain't tell
saying?
Larry. My bad,
Oh, damn, you ain't get that?
bro.
You ain't get that? You ain't
Bro,
get that text, Larry? You ain't
there
get that?
wasn't no memo.
like,
He was like, "Wait, what?"
real?
Yeah, he had to look like, damn, y'all for real? Y'all gonna leave me out? Y'all gonna leave me
That
out the
was a
game?
real pause moment, like just a
Yeah,
regular pause moment. He's like, "Wait, what?"
for
But,
sure. What's going on, though, fellas? How y'all feel, man?
We doing all right, man. We doing all right.
It's hump day, and the tush push must continue, Tone.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, they didn't ban it. Hey, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man. Yo, I don't know if you heard. We started off the show with announcing that Jim Irsay just passed away, the owner of the Colts.
Yeah, actually,
They just announced that. I don't know if you got a chance to look at it.
yeah, I seen it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually seen it, and yeah, and I was reading on it. It said he just be passing his sleep, so like natural causes or whatever. So that's crazy, man. Rest in peace to Jim Irsay, man. I know what wasn't it recently? Wasn't he dealing with like a health scare a year or so ago? Like recently?
Yeah.
Right, but that's what
I
me and
thought it was
Larry were saying though.
complications. I thought it was
Um,
complications from that.
yeah, we were talking about it though, like before you jumped on, because we didn't know like he was supposed to be in Minneapolis for this meeting. So to vote, other things, not
Oh,
necessarily
about
the
okay,
push vote thing, but he was
right,
supposed to be there.
right,
So, but it said he passed away in his sleep this afternoon. So we were like confused, like, well, who went to represent the Colts, or did they have knowledge of it and just kept it under wraps until they notified the family, did some investigation
right,
and stuff like
right,
that.
right, right,
But
right.
yeah, wow,
Yeah, sad situation, man. 65 years old, yo.
Young man.
Yeah,
At least that's how I'm going to look at it. He's a young man in my eyes.
yeah, heck yeah, man.
Not-
Heck yeah.
like I'm not that far off. So
you're about 20
Ah,
years out.
that's why he's saying
20 years out.
that.
I'm like 20 years out, man. That's
Yeah, you like,
five
yeah,
young
she
man.
ain't bad.
Hey
That's
man, hey, it's
new
time to
prime.
apply. It's time to apply for the AARP card, man. You know what I'm
Yo, one of our viewers, I'm not even gonna call him out. One of our viewers is my age and has an ARP card. I'm not gonna call him out though.
You said call him out. All right, so we know it's a guy.
Hey, this guy.
Yo, he watches this show and he chimes in too every now and then. I'll tell you guys behind the scenes. I'm not gonna call him out. But he's like, yeah, man, I got my card, man. I'm like, what? I'm like, how you get that? He's like, I just applied. They gave it to me.
They
I'm
get-
like, he had that joint at 40 years old, bro.
Hey man, as long as you qualify, look, I ain't mad at you, man.
Yeah. He's like, I get discounts everywhere.
Hey, listen, man, tell him to send me the link.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, what
You
the
know what I
hell?
mean?
Oh,
My man
man.
walking around with a limp and he get himself an AARP card. Must
Yeah.
be nice. So he's back from Dave and Buster's.
Oh, Drunk Monk.
That's
Yeah,
what Drunk Monk, yeah.
that's what's up.
Who? Monk, he said he back from Dave and Buster's?
I guess. You guys explain that one.
Oh, because I mean that's shit. That's where that's where I just came from. I know that.
Oh, then he was talking about
For
you.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Took my
yeah,
baby
because you
girl
was
out.
just saying Tone was going to join us. Oh, yeah, that's what you put.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
Tone
yeah.
is.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I was I was in that joint, man. We made my daughter. I took out, you know what I mean, last week. She turned 15. Happy birthday, Mooch. Mwah, I love you, baby.
Birthday.
And couldn't take out on her actual birthday, so we just went out.
That's what's
Took
up.
out to get something to eat, to get a little bite, then we burnt that shit off at David Buster, you know what I'm saying? So nice little outing with my daughter. So that's why I was late, you know what I mean? So
Hey, look, the things we
That's
do
more
for our
important,
kids.
bro.
Absolutely.
yeah, yes sir, yes
Sure.
sir.
So it's going to be a different type of segue. Because we talked about the passing away of Mr. Ursay, but you know what did not pass away was this tush push. So that's actually still going to be around for. I know that was a difficult segue, but hey, look, tush push is still around, and end up being that. And when it comes to the votes, 22 teams wanted it out of here. 10 teams wanted it to still be around, and you needed 24 of those teams in order for it to actually be voted out. So the question is, how do y'all guys feel about the fact? I know, Joel, how you feel about it, but from just a football fan that you are, Tone, 'cause I know you're not rocking the team right now, just the football fan that you are, what is your feeling about that play, actually? Is this something that you actually like? Is it something that you wanted them to get rid of? Like, what was your sense of it?
So how I look at it is, man, it's just like, listen, it ain't like the it ain't like the Philadelphia Eagles is the only team that gets to the half-yard line, you know what I'm saying, time in and time out, right? Um shit, what's Sirianni when he was in Indy, you know what I mean? They said he drew up a play. He wanted to do that kind of play, and they did it, and it was successful, right? Boom. So of course he brought that doctrine, here, and they practice it. You know what I'm saying? So this is a play that's just like y'all run the Z route and the Y route and the X route at practice. They practice that. So you know what I mean? Is an advantage obviously for y'all because if it's something that y'all practice, you know what I'm saying, and y'all do it week in and week out, practice after practice, you're going to get good at that. And then teams that you could tell that teams obviously they're not practicing against it because you know what I'm saying, they don't do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, they may throw, you know what I mean, when they probably preparing to play the Eagles, they might throw that week of practice, like they might run the tush push, you know what I mean? So let's try to defend it. But if these dudes ain't used to it week in, week out, man, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta want to do that. You know what I mean? You gotta want to get in the trenches, you know what I'm saying, and get down and dirty, you know what I mean? Because that's what that play is. You know what I'm saying? It's man on man strength. You know what I mean? So like I said, you practice the play. So teams, I just think teams instead of well, I don't know how they voted on this before, didn't they? Did they ever vote on this before?
Last year they did,
Now,
and
now, do you remember the amount of teams that last year? Because if I would say this: if they need 24, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it was last year. Obviously, we know it's 22 this year. If they propose it again next year, it'll be a team that'll get, you know what I mean, that'll hurt this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh God, we lost on this play, or they got 5 penalties like Washington did. You know what I'm saying? In the NFC Championship game, last. So if the numbers is growing, obviously, I think one day he may get rid of it. But like I said, if it's just something that's not going away, I think you're going to just have to. You just going to have to start drinking their cup of tea and just start doing the play yourself and defending it. So your defense can see that every week, not just prepping the week when you play, the Eagles.
Yeah, Burger.
Yeah, first and foremost, Jamar jumping on IG. What's up, bro? But I mean, as far as the play, like, look, obviously, like, I'm a little biased because it's the Eagles and stuff like that. But I mean, to Tone's point, like, I mean, it's something that they practice and they gotten great at it by doing it, and they're converting at 86%, I believe. They did vote on banning this play back in April, I believe, like around that time, and that at that time they had a few. I want to say they had 20, so they gained an extra two this go around. But it still wasn't enough to turn it over. But I mean, it's one of them things. Like, I mean, I I would not like to see it go, but I see it potentially going away. Just because the commissioner is not a big fan about it, and then you heard little rumblings like behind the scenes, which is like they were trying to like barter with the owners and stuff like that, and it was like some weird, shady stuff going on behind the scenes because they even try to use Kelsey, saying that that was one of the reasons why he retired was because of that play, which is the reason why he actually was in Minneapolis today, to answer any questions or to like, like clear the air about, that rumor that was out there that he retired because of that play. So he was out there, and then even Jeff Lurie was out there having a passionate speech about the play, talking about the play, and then he even called out Troy Vincent because he was an Eagle before, and he's head of the Players Association and stuff like that. So it's one of them things where but then on the way out, he's like, "Look, regardless of what y'all say, we walking out the champions. We got our rings, we got the hardware to prove it," and he dipped off on that note. So I mean, I don't know if someone does get bitten by the play this year, they're probably gonna convert and actually, vote against it the next time it goes around, and it is eligible to be on the table again for next year. So we'll see what happens. And I don't know. I hope they don't vote against it, but I think the writings on the wall is going to be one of those things where throughout the year, teams that get bitten by it probably going to feel a different way about it. And they actually have a list of the teams that voted for it and not. So, that list is out there. So I'm sure there's going to be extra incentive to use the play against these guys or not, or who's on your side at the moment. And ironically, none of the ex Eagles coaches were on the list that were for it. So you didn't have Gannon, you didn't have Steichen, you didn't have any of those guys over there like that came from this street. Kellen Moore did vote for it.
So here's the lineup of the teams that actually voted to keep it. So obviously the Eagles, the Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, the Saints, the New York Jets, and the Titans. So those were the 10 teams that decided to keep the play, and everyone else decided to not keep it. And it's funny because one of the teams that decided to no, they vote against it is the team that tried to use it as much as us, which is the Bills. And I found that like quite hilarious because they use the play a lot, don't have the success rate that the Eagles have. In fact, we can say is argumentable. You can argue the fact that maybe the Titans lost. I mean, the Titans, Jesus, the Bills lost in the playoffs because they didn't actually get that first down with the tush push play against KC. So after they tried it and all that and was not successful, now you got their coach saying like the play isn't safe. Everything about the play isn't good. It's not good for football. But y'all use it just as much as the Eagles did. At least y'all tried it, and y'all wasn't as successful. But now it's not safe. So, clearly is agenda. They, these teams that's not successful at it, or they don't want to have this play be used against them. They're the ones that's going against this play, and it's obvious. It's quite obvious.
Right. I think somebody's going to actually, and this might be far fetched. This is just me thinking, because the argument was that, no one has gotten injured on this play. So I think when, what I mean, some of these plays happen throughout the year, some people might be flopping. Like, you know what I mean? Just to kind of like start getting that ball rolling as far as like, look, this player's banged up and this play, that play. And it really probably not hurt, but just to kind of like start getting some data on their side to ban this play. Because dude, it was weird. Like if saw through IG or just in the sports news and everywhere, they were all talking about it in different ways, and they were like, like people calling people like lobbying, like, yo, which way you gonna vote, Tone? We need you to vote for banning this play. Like that's just weird. Like I don't know, for one play, like it's not even that deep. I mean, like I get it is an advantage for the Eagles, but it's because they practiced the damn play. Like they came up with the play, they created the play. Like, you know what I mean? They should be the master at that play. You know what I mean? Case in point, Bills aren't successful, and they run it just as much as we do. But it's like, come on, like all this extra stuff. Like, it's like you bring the issue to the table during the meeting. There's no need to table it and then vote later and all this. Like, oh no, we're gonna revisit it because you didn't get the result that you wanted. It's like if someone has an issue with something, all right, bring it to the table. You vote. All right, done deal. Everybody said no. Move on to the next thing. You know what I mean? So it's just weird that it just seems like they're overly thinking this thing and want it to go away badly. That they keep trying to like, move the goalposts as to when it's gonna be in or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm posting this now. Drunk Monk put it on here. Buffalo better not use that play after all this S he was talking. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. After all that, Josh Allen better not be being pushed from nobody at all. You know what I mean? No, it's crazy. It's
But that
crazy.
was the thing too. When they changed the wording on the actual what they wanted to ban, it was going to impact so many other things on the football field as well, because they were talking about, like the players not being able to push the pile, which obviously happens on run plays when a receiver catches the ball, and then they meet two defenders, and then you still got the opportunity to push, the player, forward. So it would have been like you're trying to ban this one play, but look how else is going to impact the rest of the game, on the field. And then that's why they got rid of that a while back because there was no way to officiate that fairly, or you got over officiating and it's slowing down the game. You got guys catch a 20-yard pass, then at the end of the play, you got two or three guys pushing the pile just to get the extra 2 or 3 yards, and then they're throwing a flag. So you bringing the, you slowing the game down, bringing the ball back. It's just overthinking it.
Mm-hmm. So hey, look, as an Eagles fan, I'm happy the fact that we're actually going to have that play at least in our arsenal, even though I think they're going to start to get away from it. But it's good to know that play at least is still in our arsenal. So that will continue. But something else that happened with the NFL, and one of the things that they actually accepted was the fact that now the NFL players are allowed to play flag football in the 2028 Olympics with everybody else. Now, I know that they're trying to get rules, and like I guess a certain amount of players from each team can go ahead and be part of these teams that's going to be out there to represent the countries that's out there. But hey, that's major. So now these NFL players, just like the NBA players, can actually get a gold, that actually gold for gold and actually play for their country, which is something we haven't seen before. What do y'all guys think about the whole entire transition?
I mean, since like you said, since football players, obviously, NFL football players have never been able to compete in that, that's going to be something, that'll be a first. That some of these guys that's obviously playing now and that's going to want to, put in their, Hall of Fame case or their, their shrine or whatever they got, at their home. So adding that to, the accomplishments, that's going to be a big thing. A lot of these guys, I think, some of the top players, I say obviously in the league is going to want to go over there, join up, and man, we get to see it, in the NBA, what I'm saying? We get to see it in baseball, we get to see it in hockey, what I'm saying? All the best players, what I'm saying, in the league teaming up, to go against the world, what I'm saying? So that's going to be really, I think pretty dope, what I'm saying? Even think about defensive guys, what I'm saying? You're going to have defensive guys, obviously, too, that's going, go out there and do their thing and showcase that, man. Obviously, we pray for all the guys to be healthy, what I'm saying, when they go out there, not doing anything, what I'm saying, not losing any guys out there because, what I mean, turn around for the NFL, man, and get back with these injuries is kind of crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's a good, exciting new thing that they implementing, in the Olympics and for these guys to win. And we're gonna see how much, better, American football is obviously than how it is like. Well, I mean, obviously the rest of the world has caught up on the NBA side of things. You know what I'm saying? They've caught up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But we get to see what it is on the NFL side with that. So I actually like it, man. It's exciting.
Good, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. Something that I, I think is going to be a good. It's a win-win. Obviously, it's going to be in the Olympics. Why wouldn't you want to have, pro athletes from the NFL not participate in this? Is going to be good. I just pulled up the rules on this thing. For the 2028 teams that they're playing on a 70-yard field. 25-yard line will be yeah 20 yeah by 25-yard field. 70 by 25-yard field, so it's a smaller field, 10-yard end zones. The games are 40 minutes. It's like a lot less than what you would anticipate being in on a regular football field.
Mhm.
20-minute has 40 minutes total. So 10 players, five on the field at a time. So it's a very small group of guys that will be actually representing. My thing is I would like to see if, like how the Olympics are just because you're representing USA, not just the NFL. So some of
Right.
these guys that might be from, wherever, they probably could represent that flag football team from
Hmm.
or their country. So that's going to be the interesting part where I think like Jordan Mailata, if he ends up going, he could, play for Australia. You know what I mean? Stuff
Right.
like that. 'Cause he's from there. So that's going to be the interesting part, seeing what collective group of guys represent the US and the NFL flag football team for the Olympics here, and then how the makeup looks for these other countries with NFL players or non-NFL players, and see if some of these guys can get exposure, you know, um, through the flag football Olympics.
I like the fact that uh, it can have a big impact on on the future of the NFL and the stars that'll be coming in from other countries, just like the NBA did. I mean, I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Dream Team and that '92 Olympics, we would not have a uh, when we probably wouldn't have a Dirk. We probably wouldn't have a Luca. We probably wouldn't have a Giannis. Like those players, may not had the exposure that they would have had if it wasn't for that Olympic team that showed the whole world how beautiful of a sport the NBA game is. And bring that type of interest in order for them to go ahead and bring that over, to bring the talents over to the United States. So I think the NFL, with this Olympic game, with the flag football, can have that type of impact when it comes to around the world having interest in that American sport and bringing themselves over, to here, so the future stars could actually be over in those other countries. Yeah, Tone, I know you want to say something.
I was just going to say to the reference you made about the Dream Team, man, because like with Birth, like Dirk and those guys, things like that. Oh man, remember back during that Dream Team era, Tony Kukoc was the man. You know what I'm saying? Was the overseas dream, and then everybody sought after talent, and everybody wanted them on the team. Mike and Scotty heard about him and was like, "What? Tony Kukoc? Oh, all right. Oh, because they said I think they had said that like Jerry Krause was like all what I mean, all on his top, like yeah, I'm gonna scout this guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make him a bull and this and that. And they was like, what? Nah, I know you're not. Watch this. We're gonna clamp this dude up and. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Shit, man, you might have to give kudos and give the flowers to Tony Kukoc, man. He might have set the
True.
bar, for them guys, man. Yeah, and not even Kukoc, man. Like Paige Story. I mean, not Paige Story. I guess my man, my man from the Nets, who passed away,
Oh
who lit
yeah,
Mike up, Petrovic,
yeah,
Dragan
Petrovic.
Petrovic. Yeah, man.
Yo,
Um,
he was the man
so
too.
you know what I mean? Yeah, international ball definitely been on the map as far as in the NBA. And like you said, now that we get to see what the talent is, all across because everybody do everything. You know what I mean? And I ain't saying they can't. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that people can't, but it is talent out there, man, that we don't see on the regular. I'm sure they have pro leagues out in those countries, and those guys play at a very high level. You know what I mean? Just want to see how it is, mixing and matching with the NFL, man. Just like in college basketball, man. When they throw the tournament together, man, them 68 teams that they put together in the tournament. I've always said, man, that it will be one day. Like I've said this for years, like watching before it even actually obviously happened. I'm like a 16 seed is going to be the one seed, man, because it's just like I'm not saying that 16 seeds are as good as one seed, but man, shit, basketball is basketball. And if you hooping and the right pieces is working, man, and you just come mano and you ain't afraid of nothing because you ain't got nothing to lose at a 16 seed. So you out there definitely playing with heart, passion, and soul. And if you go out there and you execute, I was like, yo, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why that tournament, that's why I love that tournament, because it's just like, not. I really believe whoever wins the NCAA basketball tournament, man, definitely deserved it because, you go through round after round, teams that you never, some of them matchups because you never even seen a team like that before. Yeah, it
Right.
could be, Southwest Missouri, East and Western Penitentiary State, you know what I'm saying? But you like, damn. You know what I'm saying? These dudes, you know what I'm saying? They tallest guys 6'7", but they out there hooping. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Running circles around you. And the next thing you know, they in the game. If they don't even win, you like, damn, whoa. These dudes out here, like, it was a close one. Or they knocking you off. You know what I'm saying? So, what I mean? We, like you said, that I mean, I don't know why I went, there, but, you know what I'm saying? The NFL and the Olympics, man, I like it.
It's going to give, like we said, a whole lot of exposure to to the game, to the love of the game, for all these other for all these other countries. I mean, that's the reason why, like these NFL teams are playing in Brazil, are playing in Germany. I mean, they're trying to bring up the next generation of players from all over the world instead of just being directly right here in the United States. They're making it more of a global game, and I mean, that's a powerful thing.
And look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna shift it. I'm gonna shift. I'm gonna shift the story real quick, but it's about overseas. Did y'all hear about the story of the pro player that was playing in Indonesia? This boy had some medical, like some infused gummies, shipped out to him in the country, and was giving it away to teammates, management, and all this and that. Got caught, and this dude is facing life in prison or the death penalty. Yo, it was like, yo, you didn't learn from Brittany Griner, my man. Like, what is you out here
Facts.
doing, bro? having it shipped out there. You couldn't find a drug dealer in Indonesia. I mean, come on, man. These countries, this not the USA, man. You ain't just gonna get a slap on the wrist for some gummies. Man, dog, dog, the two possibilities of his punishment, dog, is life in prison or the death
Or
penalty.
or
I want neither for some gummies. What is you talking about, man? Like, dog, I was like, I heard that, man. I said, yo, these overseas, though, they don't play with America, bro. What is y'all
no,
doing?
no, not at all. No. What does Stephen A. Smith say all the time? Stay off the weed. Duh. Like, come on, like
No, I know they got weed in Indonesia, man. I know it's some gummies somewhere in Indonesia that's infused, my man. You didn't want to take the time out to just ask somebody out, and yo, man, I know you probably been to a little local club or a bar out there. Ask one of the little, what I mean, riffraffs in there, yo, man. Who got that, man? Boom, case solved. You ain't gotta get nothing shipped across the board on planes, jets, across the boats, on what life in prison or the death penalty. I can't get over that, man.
bro, how about this? He was a distributor. He was a distributor. If he would kept that crap to
On-
himself, he may be okay. He'd be all numbed up in
Hey,
his own room.
yeah, right.
Like, may be okay.
I got the best gummies in town.
No,
Yo, I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you, this shit from the States, my man.
it's pasteurized and homogenized.
Oh, they got, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Officer, him right there, officer. You know what I'm saying? Sold it to a rat, you dummy. Now, life in prison. Oh, man.
Or
Crazy.
the death penalty. You better hope he's friends with Trump. See, Trump can try to get him out of here. That's the only way out. That's the only way.
Nah,
Oh
he
well.
better try to OD on them gummies and get out of there from that instead of the death penalty.
Hey Yasmin, how you doing, Mama? It's good to see you.
What it do?
Good to see you as always. Oh, drop that. All right. So we talked NFL when it comes to the decision that was made. I think we're all on the same page when it comes to the influence of the NFL being in the Olympics. Oh, yeah. Before we go ahead and change subjects, I also think it would be cool too to actually see like some of these defenders, because naturally I'm thinking, all right, you're gonna have all these offensive players, like you're gonna be a whole bunch of wide receivers or running backs and stuff like that, or quarterbacks is gonna be on these teams. But what if like we see like a Michael Parsons, for example, as the one that's picked from Dallas to be there. And naturally, usually they gotta play both offense and defense. So you get to actually see these other players that's play differently on the other side of the ball. You know what I mean? And that's going to be different too. How would Devontae Smith actually work out as a corner, defending against CeeDee Lamb or what I mean, or Jamar Chase? I mean, just an example. You know what I mean?
Everybody becomes Travis Hunter. That's
Yes.
what happens.
Yes.
Yeah, right. But there's a lot of the players that like you said play different positions coming in through high school. Like Michael Parsons was a running back in high school, so
Right.
you know what I'm saying. Like yeah, we see the defensive, what I mean, juggernaut right now, but he was the man running the football in high school, and you be like, damn, like try to fathom that. Like he wasn't even like sacking nobody or running nobody, or maybe he played defense, but he was more of the star, what I mean, running back in high school. But obviously those things change. When you go to college, there'll be 10 running backs, you know what I'm saying? And the coach comes to you like, I think you'd be better at linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause that's what happened with to Trey Diggs. When he went to Bama, he was a wide receiver in high school. But he was like when he went to Bama, he said it was 7 wide receivers there. He said Nick Saban
Right.
came to him and said, son, I think you'd be good at cornerback. And, the rest was history, obviously, what I mean, other than that. So,
He was like,
but
I
yeah,
think
that definitely be. That definitely
right.
would be, like you said, it would be interesting.
So who's going to be Coach K for the team, the coach?
I
Who you guys
wonder
think
if
will be
I
the
wonder if
best?
it's a I wonder if is it an active or should it be like a
I'm not
legend, like
sure.
or should
I'm
it
just
be a college
hypothetically
guy?
speaking. Who would you love? You gonna be floored by my answer.
Who would I love to be the coach of the U.S. flag football team?
You gonna be floored by my answer.
Um,
Yo, okay, here we go. I got one. That would be kind of like crazy. See how this would work. Chip Kelly.
That's what I was gonna say.
You gonna say Chip
I
Kelly?
swear
Chip
to God.
Kelly?
I swear to God, I was gonna say, yo,
Nah,
because he's just everything go. He
Go,
will be the perfect
go.
Olympic coach. Look, you told
no,
like, no,
he would not. No, Chip Kelly. Keep Chip Kelly where he's at, yo.
yeah,
Keep that dude where he's at.
he's in Oakland now. We're gonna
Yeah,
see
he's
what
the
he does.
bro.
Well, Las Vegas Raiders. I keep saying Oakland. I can't
No, I
get it.
got
I mean, he's talking about the Raiders. Shit, I'd rather have Gruden over him. I'd
Yeah.
rather have Gruden over Chip Kelly in there for that Olympic team. Get out of here.
I can listen. I can see Chip though. I can see him. Like
Bring
everybody,
Chucky
go,
back.
Yo,
go.
who have the you know how you used to have the music on?
Yeah,
Yeah, God bless America. You had the music Star Spangled Banner blasting.
and the field's only 75 yards. That's one. That's
Right.
one pass for one of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But wait, are you talking about 75 plus the 10? Both 10
And
yards
70
for the end zone?
yards long
Or
is
is it
70 yards
50?
by hold up.
So that means it's 50 yards of
It's
play
70
then,
by 30.
field play,
30
30
yards
feet wide,
wide
right?
by
Or 30
70.
yards, or 30 yards, and then 70 yards long.
And then
So
10
10 so that's
is
what I'm
the
saying.
end zone.
Is it an additional other than the 70, or is the field 50 and then the two end zones are 10?
Nah,
Because it's 50 yards, 50
the
yards
25-yard line is 50-yard line. Like that
is
50.
the so it's so it is. So all
Yeah,
right,
so
so
it's
it's a
50,
50-yard
10, and
field.
10.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I was about to say they running 70 yards and there's a
Yeah, it's
5-on-5
non-contact. You can't block. It says teams have 4 down to reach midfield and then
midfield, okay.
4 more downs to score a touchdown.
To score. So it's only 8 plays, obviously.
Right. It's gonna be a fast game, man. And then they got an option to go for a 1-point conversion
Mhm.
and or a 2-point conversion from the 10-yard line. So you move back for 2 points.
Okay.
Gonna be bombs away, yo. Bombs away.
Nah,
Man, you know who I
that
wish was
and running.
still
Running
uh
too.
but you know who this would be perfect for, yo? I mean, obviously, if it's only 50 yards, all the top quarterbacks can throw that in their sleep.
Easy.
But somebody who I would have loved to see in this kind of situation would be Mike Vick, yo.
Yes.
Ooh.
I wish we could have got to see Mike Vick in some kind of Olympic action like this, dog. Still would have been crazy.
That's what they was picking their Olympic team. The quarterback was like Lamar Jackson. Lamar. Everyone kept saying Lamar.
Well, all right. So obviously, is the rules can the quarterback run?
Yeah.
Oh, so they get the little. All right, so they probably got the spy that be on them, and
Right.
then the countdown, and then obviously,
Mhm.
boom, they can
Right.
do what they got to do.
Right.
Now who do you,
Right.
now who
Like after like three
now
or four.
who is that? Who is that person?
That's Michael Parsons.
That Mike? Yeah,
Like
that Mike the
Larry was
QB.
saying, they
Yeah,
got
that Mike the
an
QB.
athletic guy.
Cause dog, he down there run like a 4-3, dog. This nigga be hard assing out there. But yeah, that's gonna be crazy, dog. Assembling that team, yo.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun to watch.
Now,
That's gonna
now, now, if they only could pick 10 players, what is this going to be like an invitation or some
gotta be.
tryout,
That's what I'm
some
saying.
tryout type shit?
I know in order for you to qualify to represent another country, like one of your parents or something like that, you gotta have like that ethnicity or something like that in your family history to represent that country. So that's what I was saying. Like it's only 10 players for the US, but there still can be other guys like playing for other countries
Oh yeah,
that
that's
are
in the
from the
NFL.
NFL.
Right, right. Well, I'm sure
So
it will be. I'm sure it will be.
right,
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. You know, what I mean, because they want to represent their country,
right.
Right.
being in the and plus, and you know, being in the NFL. Yeah, that's gonna be.
Nah,
Yeah,
you just
that's
join the
gonna be great.
USA to get a gold.
Well, we know who did that.
And B
We know
gets
who
hurt.
did that. He ain't want to play for his. He ain't want to play for his
You're like,
team. He
I
put
ain't
the
playing for
man
y'all.
over there.
I'm gonna go get this gold.
Right? I'm gonna go jump because my son was born here. Shut
Yeah.
up.
He said, "Shut up." He said, "My son was
Your son ain't playing. You're playing, man. Like, what are you talking about, man?
You try to
wow, this,
justify.
this whole conversation went left real quick as soon as you mentioned Embiid. Jeez.
Hey, get him out of here, man. Get him out of here, dog.
But with that being said, that's a good segue over to the current this year MVP. See him on the cover. SGA.
Hey, yo. So I'm just. That's the first time I've seen the cover, and now I'm thinking about it. You should have probably put Sir Mix-a-Lot his album cover of Baby Got Back for the Tush Wish. Yo, you should have did Tush and Sir Mix.
No, the dude
And
on the
I
radio
was
station was singing. What the hell you singing? He was oh my
yo,
god. This guy,
damn, if I knew you, if I knew you was going to like put that on there because it was going to be something you could talk about, I said, yo, put that, yo. I like big butts that I cannot lie. Yeah, that'd have been funny.
no, the boy on the radio station was singing, push it real good. That's what he was saying. I was like, bro, what the
He's
hell?
singing salt and pepper.
Yeah. He was like, there, there. He was doing the I was like, yo. I was like, yo, you went over the top.
Yo. Yeah,
Mikey
they was
was
talking.
mad
They
as
was
hell. He was like, I just got scolded by his look as I was singing. That shit was crazy.
no, them lyrics is crazy. Damn, yo, think about it, yo. If you think about one of the lyrics in that song, she told you to come over there and give her a kiss. And you better make it fast or else she gonna get pissed. Yo, what if we said that to a woman, yo? Like we be looked at. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. You remember those? Y'all don't act like you remember the lyrics.
I do.
Have you guys seen it's like a group of like 3 young boys that's doing that. They're like about, I want to say like 15, probably a little older, maybe between 14 and 17. So they just like play songs from the 90s. So they was playing all these songs like all the songs, and then they're just listening to the lyrics, like reacting to them. It's funny as shit. I gotta send it to you guys.
Hey, yeah, I seen one little joint like something like that, where it was like, you know what I mean, parents in their 40s letting their kids listen to what they listened to when they was kids.
All right.
And remember the John, the
No, they
John
had Luke
by
on
the
there.
dog.
The
Remember they
Luke
had the John,
John. Ah,
but the John by the
what's
dog pound with
huh?
Snoop and the dog pound. The
Yeah,
John and Nate Dogg. Yo,
yeah.
yo, that John, they let the kids listen to that. It was a mom listening to that shit. The young boy had to get out the car, dog. Hey, mom, this is awful. Got out the car like, you was listening to this?
I want to rock. I want to rock.
I said, yeah, man.
Right.
We was kids, and they was nasty back when we was when we was younger too. So that shit been around forever. That shit just at a higher level right now. You know, nowadays,
Now it's
these
That's
crazy.
young people.
yeah.
You get shit. We got Diddy, so obviously, you know, everybody freaked the fuck out. So you see how it is out nowadays.
Yeah, them GNT promo.
Yeah, dog.
All
Yeah,
those
they got.
floating around.
Yeah, we was in New York, man. How we get caught up in the party, dog? Yo, I said, damn. I was cracking up when because I swear I ain't peeped that shit at first. Yo, I was like, oh, this boy. I
Yo,
looked,
I
I was
sent
like,
it to a few people. They floating out there. Some of our viewers got to see that.
yeah, man.
I was like, "What you think about this promo?" They was like, "Whoa."
No, dog. A couple people was coming up to me at the job, like, yo. They was like, yo, y'all crazy, yo. I know you did that song. I said, no, I did.
I sent it
I said, no, I did.
to Dope that be on and Lil Miriam. She was like, "Yo, you
Right.
crazy, cuz."
Yeah, I said, no, that wasn't me, man. I said, I was not at a Diddy party, buddy. I was not there. I was not at that party. No sirree.
Just so you know, for some reason my computer is not receiving this airdrop, but
Oh, yeah, that should have been on it. That should have been on the cover, yo.
baby got back.
I mean, the tush push is back.
Baby got back. Anyway, talk
Back to
about this
SGA.
guy right here. Talk about this guy right here, MVP of the league. And I got
Well deserved. Well deserved. Well deserved.
it was so good to see someone else get this MVP.
Nah, man. You know what? I'm glad you said that, but go ahead.
No, it's. I mean, you can go ahead and take it. The conversation from there. But in my opinion, I was happy to see someone other than the same old names for the last like 5-6 years actually get the MVP. But
Dog, I mean, yeah, you might get tired of it, but is he not still proving that he is that bull? Like, that's what I was gonna say. Don't get me wrong. Well deserved, SGA getting that joint this year because he was on a tear this year. You know what I'm saying? He definitely and he's elevated his game ever since he's been in the league. The Clippers right now is probably like this ball, you know what I'm saying? Because they Paul George, PG still he haunts everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like they did that for him, man. SGA great talent, man. That boy moves out the wazoo, man. His bag is crazy. Bag is crazy. Like I said, well deserved, man. Got OKC hooping. You know what I'm saying? They went toe to toe with, you know what I'm saying? Denver, you know what I mean? Obviously they were the better team, so they obviously, won that game 7. Um, like I said, well deserved, man. You know what I mean? That boy SGA, man, like I said, nice every year coming in, you know what I mean? But like I said, SGA MVP this season, well deserved. But I still do believe that the Joker is the best player in the league, man. Like, um, Denver just needs, what I mean, a little bit more depth to help him out a little bit, you know what I'm saying, so they can, put a little bit more guys in different positions, you know what I mean, when they need to. They might need to get rid of Michael Porter. I don't think he really, what I'm saying, fits with them. He's the excluded guy out a lot of the times. He don't show up all the time.
right,
But that dude, man, you know what I'm saying? Like that game, he had when he had 42 and 22, right? They interviewed Jamal Murray after the game, and Barkley asked, and he's like, "Yo, he's like, sometimes, man, do you like when you play, with him?" He's like, "I know you on his team, and obviously, when he's, doing his thing and he's scoring, y'all winning. You're not really obviously a fan of the game because you're playing the game, you're in the game." And he was just like, sometimes he's like, when you look up at the scoreboard and be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, 42 and 22, like, god damn, He's like, how do you like look at that? How does that make you feel? And he was like, man, he was like being just so used to playing with him. He was just like, obviously, I see his greatness every day. He said, it's not that I'm not awed by it, but you know what I mean? He's like, I expect him to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because he says he see him do it, night in and night out. But he says sometimes he do look up at the score, but like, damn, like, all right, I know he out here, doing his thing, but shit, 47 and 20, like he out here dominating. Like, um, he still gets people involved, man, and he does all that. Don't get me wrong, he's a big, strong guy. He knows how to use his body. You know, overseas the way they teach basketball is way different than how they teach it over here in America, man. And not only does he know how to play the game, but he definitely knows the fundamentals of the game, and he uses that because look how he's not athletic at all.
at all.
You know what I'm saying? And he's still out there grabbing 27 boards, 20 boards. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, give me that. You know, I can't even jump. Can't even put a piece of paper under his feet when he jumps. You know what I'm saying? But that dude gets it done, man. And you know, like I said, SGA well deserved best player this year in the league. But that boy Joker is a problem, man. He's a real problem.
Yeah, as far as SGA, man, he's the second what the last one to do it was Curry, that won the MVP and ended up going to the finals. So that's huge. Um, look, man, shout out to him. Yesterday's game, oh my God, I thought Minnesota had a chance. I really think they don't have a chance against this team, man. And then it's all because of him, man. He always seems to get the contact when he's going down there and creating that contact and just making plays happen. And he made it to the foul line like over 11 times, I want to say. And that got them going because they started actually Minnesota started off hot in the beginning, and him getting to the line, that's what changed everything, got him into momentum. And next thing you know, they blowing them out at the by the end of going into the fourth. It was like already over. It was like they were just trying to survive or whatever. But yeah, man. Shout out to SGA, and to Tone's point, Joker, man, that dude's he just doesn't waste any movement. Like, and everything he does is like strategic. He's not getting gassed. He's just, always seems to be in the right spot. The fundamental side of it, he's just that dude, and he's doing it with not that many, not that much help around him. So imagine if they do get some pieces in Denver for him. But shout out to SGA.
Yeah, facts. It's once again, it was good for me to see another MVP, especially one that was well deserved. I mean, he was a finalist for the last number of years too. Just the way that he plays and what have you, but really taking over this year, and it's it's good to see. In my opinion, the guard being passed. You know what I mean? Because it's a shame because the legacy players are starting to fade off now officially. You know what I mean? It's no Steph is looking old. You know what I mean? And obviously LeBron is 20 his ninth season coming up next year. You know, you have like these players, the ones that we've literally seen from college all the way to where they are right now, and to become great. Like we've seen those guys, go away, and now you have ones like SGA. We have uh I still think Tatum's still considered young. So we still have the Tatum and the Browns and the Maxis and the Luca is still considerably young. But we have those guys now that's that the mantle need to be go ahead and passed on. And we do see of course Ant. But I mean you have these young great players that's like, all right, it's time for the mantle to be passed. Let the older guys go ahead and start to fade away. And it's kind of sad because we see a whole generation like kind of like going away. But in the same token, is you, we should feel at least a little encouraged by seeing the new guys stepping up.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, man. Because just take all of the teams obviously that's left in the playoffs, even on the East side. You know what I'm saying? Tyrese Halliburton. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be a young stud. He's a young stud that's gonna be good for years to come. Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be around. You know what I'm saying? They got a nice little squad that's going. What I mean, be there, man. So the league is in good shape. You know what I'm saying? I do believe the league is in good shape. For when the last year. Now what's gonna be crazy to me is what I just thought about is do they all would it be crazy if they all retired the same year? What would that look like, yo? The NBA would be like if it like, and here's the deal, like like obviously, LeBron said he's coming back for one more year. Like he said he's coming back next year, right?
Mhm.
Would it be some point next season he'd be like, "This is my last year," or do we wait? Do we have to wait again until like next off season for it to be, you know what I mean? I might call it quits. I really haven't heard much about KD or Steph contemplating or it. I mean, this year, like how they obviously talk about Brian every year, like I mean, to come back, to come back, to come back. Um, but it's getting there. It's getting there, man. For Steph and then KD. Like, how many more years? How many more years do they play? And to keep it a buck, I don't think that they can play as long as LeBron and be as good as they are.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? For as long. So how long do they hold on?
you're right. I think one of the signs is funny. I think one of the signs. I'm sorry, Joe. I'll let you go in a second. I think one of the signs for me that showed me like, yeah, these guys are fading is when we saw Clay. When we saw Clay just fall to be the player that that he ended up being in his last year with Golden State. That was just like that's the Splash Brothers, man, and like that's over. It's over. So go ahead.
Now, I was just gonna say just the injury factor. I think everything's catching up to him. The wear and tear on the tires and stuff like that. Like you saw Dame get hurt. You saw, even like Tatum's. He's at, he's like in the middle, kind of like he's not with the young guys. He's probably like a little bit ahead of them.
Mhm.
He's more closer to like those guys, of course. But you know what I mean. But he got that injury. But I think that's what it is. Like these guys are, obviously haven't been taking care of themselves like LeBron has. But I mean, you see the numbers that LeBron put up last year. They're still like they're not definitely not 1 or 1A, but they're second best on probably any damn team in the NBA. You know what I mean? And you would take that any day of the week. I think for him, it's just gonna be like, all right, what more do you want to accomplish and what position you want to be in. What's more important to you? So I don't know if he's just coming back for another year, with the whole sun element to try to get him back, on the right track and see that, but I don't know. But to Tone's point, I don't think they're gonna last anywhere near to the age where LeBron's playing at and at the level he's playing at
Mhm.
is the more important thing.
Yeah, he averaged what? What he averaged 24, 8, and 8? Who on the who on
I'll
the
put
Sixers
it up real quick. Go ahead.
who on the Sixers averaged that this year? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, man. Obviously it was unfortunate, Steph catching that hamstring injury. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was a pretty obviously pretty bad one. He couldn't bounce back, in enough time, for him to be ready for that series. And to be honest, they would have had a chance to win the series, you know what I'm saying? If he played, man, but I don't know what was up with Jimmy Butler, man. He just wasn't I don't know, he didn't seem like he wanted it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I gotta understand if he played like this, if Steph was out on the floor, because you just thinking that all right, Steph's going to do everything, but he wasn't even playing, and that dude act like he didn't really want to get busy like all the time. Like he had the liberty and the green light, you know what I'm saying, to shoot. They had no other who else besides Steph Curry is gonna go get you 30 on that squad.
Yeah.
So he was a disappointment, man, in that series, man. So I don't even think they would even have beat Minnesota for real, for real. But
I agree.
um. I don't know if this was a true report. I think I've seen some out, things be clickbait or, people just be putting posts up. But I don't know if it would be something where as though LeBron joins them in Golden State, somehow like or I don't know. Or what do the Lakers are if obviously LeBron comes back and playing with the Lakers. What does the Lakers now need? Because they got Luca, you know what I'm saying? Obviously they got
Center.
they got
They need a center bad.
So who is that guy? Who is that guy for them? Who would that be?
I'm not sure, but he did average 24 8 and 8 this year for LeBron.
Yeah, yeah. No six average that this year.
hmm
So he would have definitely flourished for us,
It's
averaging
like
that. You know what
even
I'm
the
saying?
21st season, no matter the age, like he's 40 years old, it don't even matter. It's like, dude, like I think with him is just more so like that the playoffs is different. Like yesterday watching that OKC game, and I'm like, I don't even care. You gonna think I'm crazy if LeBron, like you was just saying, joined Golden State with Curry and Butler, and they were all healthy. A team like OKC, how young, athletic, and running up and down the field, it was causing havoc and all those turnovers yesterday. Like I'm like, this team is just too much.
They got
Like
the best
it's
defense in the
no
league.
other way to say it. It's just they're just young and athletic. So it's like, all right, well, you know what I mean? Like you got to get there throughout this group, this long grueling season just to make it into the playoffs, and then you have to play, two, three rounds in the playoffs just to get to the chip. It's like it's not as easy as it looks. So I get that, a lot of these guys are working on their conditioning and stuff like that, but everybody needs to be at that same playing field when they get to the end. So now all these younger guys are definitely going just, man, you know what I mean? Just run you out the gym.
Mhm. Well, that's what happens when you get old. That's what happens when you get older, man. I mean, those things start to happen, and you start seeing like, how come these young boys are flying up and down the court? And it's like, I used to be able to keep up with them. Next thing you know, my hammy's messed up and ankle
Hmm.
need to be
Hey, you
taped up
playing from 3-point line to 3-point line.
Right, right.
or straight cherry picking
Yep,
the whole time.
that's it.
Yeah. Knee
Yep.
all flared up after the game. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Tone knew about that.
Yeah, for
It took
sure.
like 2 weeks to recover from that. I was like, bro,
No, I was mangled. I said,
hey,
damn.
yo, I was exiting the vehicle like lifting one
Yeah.
leg up.
Like you was about to get in a wheelchair?
Like,
Like your shit ain't working?
what you doing? Nah, we used to play a few basketball games. It was half court too. We played one
Right?
court.
No, but then we started running forward though.
Yeah,
We
that's
did
what I was
run some
saying. I was
forward.
like, yo, oh man.
Well, we've been on here for 1 hour and 8 minutes. Thank you, every single one of y'all on IG as well as YouTube, for joining us for this week. We appreciate y'all, man. Seriously, we definitely appreciate y'all to the highest. Where would we be without our peoples, aka y'all? No clue. We have no idea. So we definitely appreciate y'all so much. We just so y'all guys know, because I had a couple people actually ask me if this was going to happen. So I'll go ahead and put it in the atmosphere. We do not know yet if Eagles versus Cowboys, where we're officially going to be at when it comes to that game being live somewhere. But I
But we
do
gonna
know
be somewhere.
facts. I do know the man that's sitting on the screen right smack in the middle with that hat on. I do know how that man operates. So just know, people, that we're going to be outside. It's just a matter of where. And it's a matter of how we're going to be doing that as well. But
Shit, we might be at the game doing it.
on Tone's dime, it's like $500 for like the sit on the roof.
Hey, I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. You
So I
know?
need you to be that promoter and start promoting us to get there.
Yeah,
That's what I need.
if that, yo, I don't know, man. That opportunity might, whew, I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I don't
but we're
know.
going to see. We're going to see. But just know that the questions that y'all guys asked me, we're already in conversations already for what that's going to look like. So we'll go ahead and see, and we'll definitely update y'all guys. So y'all guys will be aware of what's going on with the GNT crew going out, having a good time, because last year it was bananas and fun, especially the first game of the year. That was fantastic. So we need to go ahead and do that again. We'll definitely get y'all guys updated whenever we get that information to y'all, so it's not last minute. But what is last minute is us leaving out. So it's time for us to shut this thing down. Shut them down. Bird Gang, what you got for us, brother?
Yo, man, you guys are supporting GNT Sportstalk crew. We much appreciate every single one of you guys. But listen, man, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You already know Bird Gang checking out. Thank you guys. Let's get it.
Yo, 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 yo. Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of GNT Sports Talk, man. Sorry I was late, man. I was out with the daughter. Happy birthday, Moot. I love you, baby girl. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode, man. So just like Joel said, man, you gotta like us. You gotta comment on the post. You know what I mean? You got to share it with your friends. You have to just, you know what I mean, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, man, because we're GNT Sports Talk, man. We ain't playing no games out here. We in every lane. We trying to do things, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, we talking about where the opening week may be. So definitely continue to tap in, you know what I'm saying, like what we got going on, man. Appreciate all of y'all. And what am I? Tone the promoter, right? What do I do? Produce a show called Laugh the Pain Away. It's a comically infused, poetically, you know what I mean, show that where we give out free wine every third Friday of the month. We got a show coming up. It's actually like a Father's Day, you know what I'm saying, show, you know what I'm saying, we're going to have all guys performing. So we're going to celebrate the fathers and, you know what I mean, salute to all the good guys out there, man, that do their thing, you know what I mean, for their children and their family, man. So, you know what I mean, like I said, tickets is in the bio. Follow me at Tony Promoter. Right now, we got early bird special tickets going on. The sell ends May 30th, so y'all got to tap the link in my bio. Y'all got to buy them tickets. They are $17.85. You like, what? Why are they $17.85? Because they $17.85. Go on the website. Come down, have some free wine. My boy Ken Jones, he's taking off. Next up from Philly. You heard that here first. Tony Promoter signing out. Thank y'all for tuning in another episode of GNT Sports Talk. Let's get it.
Hey, as always, we thank y'all so much for tuning in. Until next week, I don't think I have anything extra to go ahead and tell y'all, but we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And that's it. That's it. They go Tone showing off again. Anyway, we out. Y'all guys stay safe, stay blessed, and keep your heads up. Peace.